All right, welcome back. 7:24 right now. 6 years of courtroom battles, and in just a few hours, jurors found R. Kelly not guilty.
But does that mean he's innocent? Joining us is defense attorney Thomas Glasgow, and we heard jurors say that they did believe that was R. Kelly on the tape. What happened?
They essentially didn't believe that it was the girl on the tape. They had problems with whether or not it was the girl on the tape. Now, remember, one of the elements that they had to prove was whether or not the person was under the age of 18 at the time the film was made. They tended to believe that it was R. Kelly on the tape. However, because of the reasonable doubt that was placed on the female in this in the videotape, that was the issue that they focused on.
Yeah, and so the star witness here to prove any of this, at least you know, for the jury's reason, Lisa Van Allen.
Yes.
Did the defense do a good job of kind of undercutting her and I guess losing her credibility a little bit?
Well, essentially you had 22 people that were testifying on behalf of the prosecution, all of which said that that was the girl in the video. Some of the relatives, some of the friends, some of the co-workers of Kelly, all pointing to the fact that that was the girl in the video. The only person that testified that there was any kind of sexual relationship was Mrs. Van Allen. Mrs. Van Allen's credibility, I do believe, was undercut by the effective cross-examination of the defense attorneys in this matter because she had a financial gain. She had a boyfriend who had been arrested. She didn't come forward immediately. She had been, for years and years, she knew about this, yet decided to keep this to herself until her boyfriend was arrested on weapons and drug charges.
Do you think the crux of all this was that the alleged victim did not take the stand?
That is always a problem in sex cases. Sex cases are notoriously hard to prove when you do not have a cooperative victim. That was a factor that played into this jury's mind. One of the questions that they had was, why was she not there? Why did she not come forward? Why did the family not come forward? Why was she not part of this? And because she did not come forward, she wasn't the person who came forward to talk to the police. That really weighed heavily on the juror's mind as to whether or not there was reasonable doubt.
However, over 20 witnesses said, that's her on the tape. We know her.
But you also had people from the family and friends that said, that's not her. We don't recognize her. So, again, you're only creating reasonable doubt. It's not a preponderance of the evidence, the standard that's usually in civil cases. You're talking about beyond a reasonable doubt. Is it reasonable for them to believe that maybe it's not her? Yes, and that's their legal burden. At the onset of this case, I told you that he was going to get a fair trial, and he did get a fair trial, and the jury weighed the evidence. And this is the verdict that they came out with.
Once again, it was a reasonable doubt right there.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, defense attorney Thomas Glasgow, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Coming up, parts of the Midwest facing